Basketball Podcast, episode 229, November 22nd, 2024, Friday evening, back in our primetime Friday slot, which is probably the most frequent this podcast has ever been done, is Friday evenings and when it's dark outside at 4:40, you know?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Prime time.
Very prime.
Illinois coming off a loss.
Yeah. The bad news is they lost. The good news is we actually have a game to talk about rather than those first ones that really didn't matter. Illinois loses 100-87. Tomislav fouled with like 22 seconds left. Brad wasn't very happy about it. Got Alabama to 100 points. But it is what it is. We'll start off with the Pogs like we always do. I went with Kylan Boswell this game. 32 minutes for him, 7 for 15, 1 for 5 from 3, 2 for 5 from the line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, only 1 turnover for him. It held Mark Sears to 0 points on 0 of 5 shooting. He was 0 for 4 from 3. I think he took 3 in 1 possession. And then Sears left with 11:27 left, told Nate Oates that he didn't want to play anymore. The team was better without him. Good bum said that is a true leader. I don't know about that, but sure. But yeah, I thought Kylan Boswell, this is one of his better games. We talked about, let's see what happens when he plays some competition, and he shut down Sears offensively. He did some things really nice going to the basket. Free throws were a problem for the whole team, not just him. We'll probably talk about that a little bit more later, but I really like this game from Boswell, and I hope he can build on this. So,
yeah, if you remember last year, Boswell, when he was at Arizona, they had a big game this time of the year. It was against the Duke Blue Devils, and Boswell in that game kind of did similar things. He didn't score as much against Duke last year as he did in this game, but he played a really solid game. 4 for 7 from the field in that game last year, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, blocking 2 steals. So I think when the competition gets a little better, I think we'll see the best out of Boswell. And I think, this wasn't the best performance we're going to see from him this year. I think he'll have a better game than this. Because I think he'll have a game where he's going to make 6 of 10 from 2, but he's also going to make 3 of 5 from 3. So he ends up with, 20 plus. And 2 for 5 from the free throw line. Historically speaking, his free throw shooting is way worse so far than it has been in his college career. In his freshman year, he shot 15 of 19 from the free throw line. That's 79%. Last season, he shot 31 of 39. That's 79%. Right now, 6 for 11. That's 54%. Going into this game, he was 4 for 6. He went 0 for 2 against SIUE, 2 for 2 in the Oakland game and the Eastern game. So he'll be fine. And this is for all the Illini fans who were freaking out over Boswell early in the season. Now you know the guy to worry about is the guy that we're going to talk about fifth. All right. Kasparis is my player of the game. Just thought he showed a ton of flashes. He had obviously too many turnovers, but he showed a lot. He 6 of 13 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, 2 for 3 from the free throw line. He had 3 shots in a row because he got fouled on a 3. 15 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 turnovers, 2 steals, a few fouls, but he showed a lot. I retweeted the Ant Wright highlight reel thing, made a lot of great passes, looks comfortable shooting. I said I wanted him to take 8 twos. He took 9.
Yeah.
Or I guess I said I wanted him to take 8 shots, and he took 13. So, and if 9 of those are from 2 and he makes 5 of them, that's good with me. That's like I think he's the only guy on the team that him and Will Riley, I guess, where I feel fine them taking some mid-range jumpers. He was good. 6 assists. Like, I just think that if you're an NBA GM, like, this is a player they should love.
Yeah.
He's 18 years old too.
Yeah, 6'6". Just his vision on the court's really good. Turnovers, he's still turning the ball over at a high rate. I don't know how many he's averaging right now, but it's got to be 5 or 6 a game. I would guess. So clean up that a little bit. But yeah, there were just parts of this game where it was like, wow, this guy is good. Real good.
He's similar to Curbelo in the sense that he doesn't have any fear as a freshman.
Yeah.
And that's going to lead to turnovers, I think, is kind of
it's true.
The takeaway there. But the difference between him and Curbelo is pretty much every other part of the game outside of the fear factor. He's a better shooter. He's bigger, stronger. His vision is just as good, if not better. I mean, it's probably better. I think in the Illini bubble, we thought Curbelo was like Jason Kidd or Magic Johnson his freshman year. But yeah, Kasparis, turnovers weren't great. Everything else I thought was, like to see maybe a couple more field goals now. Let's get to like 15.
Yeah. Keep shooting, kid.
Yeah, we don't need to waste 4 on Trey White.
Yeah. Rest of the starters, Ben, Big Humrickus, 30 minutes, 4 for 7, 3 for 6 from 3. I think he missed his first 3 threes, and you were getting mad at him. So 11 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Again, he's shooting the ball at 50% from 3, I think, still on the season.
46.
Okay, 46%. My bad.
It wasn't a slight.
I know. I'm not saying it was. He's shooting better than that guy over at Indiana right now, right?
Well, I'll tell you this about Humrickhouse, and we don't have to take cheap shots. I mean, that's a cheap shot. He's talking about Luke Goody, by the way. The thing about Humrickhouse is I do like that he just keeps chucking them, because the ones that he missed didn't look good at all, which is why I was like, okay,
they were way off. Yeah,
maybe stop. But he still ends up 3 for 6. So that's he's got a good shot. I think he's capable of doing more than just shooting threes for this team. I think a lot of it will be matchup based. But I'll take 3 for 6 all day.
Yeah, I think you maybe like a couple more rebounds out of him with his length. People are worried about his defense, but I mean, Illinois' defense as a whole is kind of lackluster at best, besides Boswell. They're playing a lot of, slacking off, protecting the paint a lot against an Alabama team that likes to shoot the 3 a lot. So thought that was an interesting take by Brad, but that's what he wants to do. That's what the team's going to do. So Tommy, what's up? Jeffrey, what's up? Philip, what's going on? David, how are you? Eric, what's up? Jeff says bench Trey White. Riley should be starting. Let's talk about Trey White.
I want to issue a thought for Brad, and really, Josh Whitman should fire Brad Underwood if Will Riley is not starting over Trey White in the next game tomorrow.
Okay.
There's literally no reason. What is the reason now?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if it's it's a flow thing. No, you're coming off a loss. Trey White, fine, he can play 16 minutes. Great. Will Riley played almost 30 minutes in this game. Will Riley is a better basketball player. Will Riley does so much more for them offensively. The floor spacing with Boswell, Kasparis, Humrickhouse, Will Riley, and Tomislav is going to be the best possible they can have. So why would you not want to space the floor right away, early and often, just like how they got blitzed from 3 by Alabama? It makes no sense. And it's not the Will Riley starting is not a dig at Trey White, but it's kind of a dig at Trey White. Like, Trey White shouldn't be a starter.
Yeah, I know Brad wants to say, this summer he was the most consistent, and maybe that's why he has a starting spot right now. Maybe it's because he's older than Will Riley. I don't know. But yeah, 16 minutes, 1 for 4. He's 0 for 1 from 3. He did make all 4 free throws. Only guy on the team that did that. 6 points, 5 rebounds, a block. He had 2 turnovers. There were just some possessions where it was like, it felt like he thought he was back on Louisville or something. And it wasn't just him. I mean, there were times in this game, DGL did it, a couple times, where it turned into that old looking ISO ball that they did 2 years ago or whatever. What was that, 2 years ago? Matt Meyer and those guys.
Shot fired.
No, that's not a shot. I'm just saying that's what the offense looked like at times. And This team is way better when you're moving the ball and guys are moving. Trey did have a nice cut to the basket, had an open layup. That was his only shot made. They just got to get back into that, and you have to do that more consistently rather than trying to play one-on-one sometimes. So
yeah, that's fair.
Jeff says, I think Brad needs to get Riley open more.
I think he needs to get Riley playing with the 4 other players I mentioned because he will have plenty of opportunities.
Yeah,
with that spacing. If you sit back and look at the numbers from Trey White in this game, they aren't bad. But watching the way, he did try to. There's a few possessions that he just sank with decision making stuff.
Yeah, the one I mean that stuck out the most, where I think we kind of both flew off the handle during the watch party, was he got blocked, got the ball back, decided not to pass it again, did a little spin move, thought he got an and one while he traveled. So the ball just never left his hands on that possession, and I just don't understand that, but that's the way it goes. So Tomislav, 31 minutes, 6 of 11, 2 for 6 from 3. Missed both his free throws, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover. I just wrote down I'd like to see Tommy get posted up a little bit. I mean, him to post up a little bit more. I don't think that they're doing that much. I know that's not a huge thing for Brad, but I mean, when he gets the ball in the post and he has that little hook shot, it seems to be a bucket most of the times. So I'd just like to see it more. He's really good at passing out of the post too. So, but another solid game for him. A double-double, 14 points, 10 rebounds. I have no complaints about how he played this game. You could say that, he needed to close out on Grant Nelson more because Grant Nelson decided to make 3 threes right off the rip. But we'll talk about it later. Brad wanted him to shoot. That was their game plan, was let Grant Nelson chuck up threes because he's a 26% three-point shooter. So I don't know if that's really on Tommy or not, because that's the shot Brad wanted Alabama taken. So
yeah, I was looking at his career stats from 3. Definitely worse than I would have thought.
Yeah.
27% last year. Oof.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Brad was fine with him taking them. So Embrat says, I think both teams shoot perimeter. It boils down to getting back in cover. Brad said, we're going to fix that. Yeah. The thing that I think you notice the most between Alabama's defense and Illinois' defense is Alabama is on you. When you cross the half court line, they are in your face on you. And Illinois just doesn't do that. And a lot of people are saying, is that athleticism, this team's going to struggle because of athleticism. I don't know. I mean, Alabama's maybe the most athletic team in college basketball. So
top 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So to compare it to Alabama, I know that Illinois it never seemed like they were really in this game, but I don't have, besides free throw shooting, I don't think this was a terrible game from them.
Turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, 13. Illinois is going to be a 10 to 15 turnover team, though.
I'm just trying to find something for people.
That's who they've been. That's what
didn't take enough threes.
Brad Underwood team
Got outclassed from 2.
A lot of I think at one point Alabama had like 10 breakaway points and Illinois had 0. So that would also be a big factor. Jeffrey says, like to see Tom and Merez get time both on the floor. Yeah.
No.
The matchup would have to be right for them to both be able to guard somebody. So Boswell had been real good on defense. Yeah, Boswell was. If they made free throws, it would have been a game. Yeah. Let's get to the bench. Will Riley, 29 minutes, 6 for 12, 3 for 4 from 3, 3 for 7 from the line, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, No turnovers for him. Illinois had 5 guys in double digits. So double figures. What do you like to call it?
Figures is what the official terminology
figures.
is.
So, I mean, I think if you would have told Brad he would have had 5 guys scoring double figures, he would have taken that and thought they might have had a chance to win. So,
yeah, I'm good with this game from Will Riley. I mean, he made 6 shots. You know, the shot selection is going to be something that's talked about all year, but I don't think that you bring in a guy like this and you don't let him, you know,
do what he does. Yeah. I do agree with Jeffrey. You gotta set some screens for him, get him open for some threes a little bit more. He's clearly a pure shooter. It looks funny coming off his hands sometimes. His feet kind of flail around, but when it goes in, it's nothing but net usually. So, Brad said that he was proud of him for his bounce back in the second half. Had kind of a slow start. Will Riley seems to be a really good second half player. So, he was my player to watch as a reclassed freshman. I thought that he handled the moment pretty well, as good as could be expected. So, ever since Brad has been here, our free throw shooting is awful. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Maybe they need to shoot 10
It's not entirely true. I
mean, find us this season. They were good
last year. 74%. Fringe top 100.
What are they this year right now?
68.
Okay. I
mean, last year's team is really the one example. And the 2019-20 team was 72%. I mean, you really want to be above 70. And Brad's first year, they were 73, but last year was the best they've had in terms of, volume and things mattering, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're not good enough this year.
It's not. DGL, 17 minutes, 0 for 5, 0 for 3 from 3. Made both his free throws, so I was wrong. Trey White and DGL. I think they're becoming pretty much the same player myself. 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 steal. I wrote this after the game, and, I had a few drinks in me. And I wrote down Trey White and DGL. We have to start talking about shortening their time in the rotation. And then I said that I questioned their brains on their offensive skill.
Okay.
I just they seem like the same, like when the game went to ISO ball, it seemed like it was these two. Like these were the two that said, all right, I'm going to do something right now. And they both failed in that.
Trey White has played 15
minutes for these guys. I'm fine.
30 minutes in the last 2 games.
Yeah, I'm not.
16 and 14. DGL has played 15 against SIUE, 12 against Oakland, 17 against Alabama. He definitely played too much. But I think in the Alabama game, he probably played too much. But I wonder if he was in when Kaspers was out there for a minute. So I don't know.
Yeah, I saw somebody say that Illinois' comeback was with our most athletic lineup, and it was like Riley, DGL, Trey White, Boswell, and Kaspers, maybe? I can't remember.
Merez?
Is that when Illinois got it within 8 points?
I don't remember.
With those guys on the court, we might look stupid.
No, they both stink.
Everybody's saying even Ethan can shoot free throws.
It's true.
I don't know what that. Why do they say even Ethan though? Like
it's fine. That's fine.
But don't expect it from you. Merez played 9 minutes. He was 2 for 3. Missed his only free throw. 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks from him, 2 turnovers, 4 fouls. Merez really impressed me with his rim protection. There were two really good blocks. Both of his blocks were really nice. I felt like he got some ticky-tacky foul calls against him. And he was the only guy that went plus. He went +6 in this game. So we talked about it in the watch party. Like Merez is going to be fun to watch in the coming years. So see what he can do offensively, but defensively, he has all the skills. So, anything else on him you want to talk about?
Nope. Good rim protector.
Great rim protector. Your boy Corey Booth played 3 minutes. He was 0 for 1 from 3 and had 1 foul.
I think his 3 was either a air ball or just off the front of the rim. It wasn't good.
Yeah. Yep. Other notes and quotes. Ethan's getting wore out already, so we'll just keep moving.
No.
Talked about factors that lost the game. 13 turnovers, like you said. Casper's had almost half of them with 6. There are times where you question his passes, but again, I think he sees the court differently. He thinks he can make some passes that sometimes aren't going to be there. So I'm not going to complain about him turning the ball over. I refuse to. Grant Nelson, as we talked about, went 4 of 9 from 3. He made his first 3, had 23 points, 4 blocks, 9 for 15 from the field for him. Like I said, Brad said, quote, Nelson hit the first 4 of the game. We were dorking him, Brad said. We weren't guarding him, and that was the plan going in. He's a career 26 or 27% three-point shooter. So he said that he had no problem letting him shoot threes. He also commented and said they had the same plan against Diabate, who also made a 3. So again, this is what Brad's plan was going in, and it just killed him off the rip. I mean, getting those shots to go in kind of hurt him. And then Illinois went on a run where they missed 11 field goals in a row. And in a game like this, you can't have runs like that. So,
his form sucks too. That's the other part of this. It wasn't like his shot looked good.
Yeah. Yep. Bama went 11 for 34 from 3, 32%. Illinois went 10 of 30 for 33%. So I don't know what Bama was in the first half. I don't know if you can look that up or not, but
yeah, I suppose I could. It'll take me a couple hours, but I'll do it.
Thanks.
Probably much better than the overall number.
It's got to be, right? I think they made their first 5.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. I just was interested.
Hold on, folks. Hold on.
Hold on. I didn't know it was this hard to find. Sorry.
Hold on, folks. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
8 for 23. 35%. So 3 for 11 in the second half.
Okay. Well, wasn't as bad as good as I thought, I guess. Illinois did out-rebound Alabama 44-37. Illinois had 14 offensive rebounds. Alabama only had 7. Brad said that he thought that rebounding would be the key stat of the game, and he said, quote, turned out to be free throw shooting and turnovers. So there you go. I thought if you just looked at this game, you looked at the box scores, you thought that this game probably would have been closer. I know it was only a 13-point game, but again, the closest Illinois ever got in the second half was 8 points. The farthest, I think it got to up in 19, maybe. So never really seemed like Illinois was back in this game, technically. But Alabama, I said 10 fast break points earlier. They had 12. And I think Illinois might have had 2. And then Illinois going 13 of 24 from the free throw line. Again, you don't expect a team to make 100% of free throws, but if they make 6 more, this game gets a lot closer, a lot tighter later in the game. So no time for show prep, David says.
Question mark.
Question mark. I don't know. I thought that Nate Oates made a great call by starting Philon. I don't know how you say his name. I don't think Brad knew how to say it either. 16 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds for the guy. Underwood commented how he is NBA talent. He likes to do that when guys that he doesn't know about kind of blow up against Illinois. So, and he said that he wouldn't be in an Alabama jersey much longer. So maybe Brad's trying to get him to come to Illinois. Who knows? I don't got much more on this. I mean, we talked about them missing 11 straight, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Post-game, Brad said, quote, nothing to hang our heads about today. I felt pretty good, to be honest. We had a couple of moments, one in the first half, one in the second, where they capitalized. They had 12 points on middle drives and 12 points in transition. So that's apparently what he wants to stop. Middle drives. That's why he packs the paint so much, right? Apparently,
yeah. The plan against Alabama, I think, was fine. Now that we know what they were trying to do and we know some of the numbers, but sometimes the plan doesn't work out.
Yeah. He talked about Kylan and KJ. He said, quote, they both better learn how to make free throws because they are both great free throw shooters, and that was ridiculous.
KJ was 2 for 3.
That's what he said.
We talked to Will Riley going 3 for 7. I mean, Jesus, why is he singling those two out?
I don't know. I'm not Brad. Yell at Brad. Yell at him right now.
Both good free throw shooters, and that was ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Brad was asked about losing the Ole Miss game and not worrying about November. This was from Derek Piper. So, quote, we didn't try winning at all at Ole Miss. It wasn't about going to try to win. We played everyone in that. It wasn't about scheming or scouting. It was about going through the process. Championships aren't won in November. Go ask Nate Oates. This was about growth. I love Tommy. Good to see Ben going. Got to get more than one rebound out of Ben. We are going to have nights where Dre and Trey are really good. It's about piecing things together. I thought KJ was the best player on the court in the first half. So I think Brad was not happy with this question. Is why I wrote it down, but I can't remember it at this point. Anyways, yeah, Nate Oates, I think they were like, what'd they start? 6-5 last year to start the season. Lost all their big games and made it to the Final Four. So again, this is a building game. I don't know why somebody would expect Illinois to win this game. Ethan.
But why would anybody think that? That's crazy.
But again, I thought that they hung in there fairly well considering everything. So he was asked about the 2 moments where they lost their composure. He said, quote, we didn't run anything. We just got sporadic and went 1-on-5 and let's go do our deal. We went from executing ball screens at a really high level and getting the shots we wanted. We had really good looks in there. We got out of character. We turned it over 3 possessions in a row, missed an open look, and missed free throws. Those are the moments you have to eliminate. Had the same thing happen, same thing in the second half. Got it within 8, made 2 quick turnovers, and those are the things you have to avoid. I have to slow them down. So he might have meant Will Riley. Eric, I don't remember about the free throws. Again, you can tell by the way I wrote this last quote that it was late. So anyways, again, learning experience. You play Alabama in basically a road game. I thought Illinois had flashes of greatness. Greatness is a big word. Eliteness. Anyways, they had flashes of, wow, this team's still young and they're still learning to play with each other. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Are we on to Maryland Eastern Shore?
I don't know. We're on to whatever you want to do. By the way, Ethan's the biggest sandbagger in golf ever. So let's just throw that out there.
Could have done that at the end, but that's fine.
No, I want to do it right now before we get into something else.
Any other thoughts on that? It's
Nope.
not my fault.
Now you're at 10. You're going to be screwed.
No, I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Anyways.
I shot like 5 better than a 10 last night.
Who won our golf match? I mean, well, I played better, but Ethan got an insane amount of strokes, and
you didn't play that much better.
We out of 6 teams, our team shot the second best round. Ethan's team shot the best round. His partner made a gross net eagle on the last hole, so that kind of killed us. But
definitely.
What'd you shoot? 7 over?
6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah, I shot 5 strokes better than you. What are you talking about? Not that much better.
I thought you shot like 4 over.
I shot 2 over. Thanks.
Oh, I thought it was like 4 over. I thought you were a little worse than that. All right, that's enough of that. Illinois and Maryland Eastern Shore tomorrow, Saturday, 3:00, Big Ten Plus. Illinois 3-1, Maryland Eastern Shore 2-5. I don't know how they played 7 games already. One of the worst teams on the Illini schedule and one of the worst teams in the country. Maybe the worst team in the Illini schedule. They're ranked 360th of 363 teams on KenPom. They have 2 wins against non-D1 opponents, and their losses have been ugly, to say the least. I mean, they lost to Vanderbilt by 39. They lost to Penn by 1, so that's not too ugly. Lost to Miami of Ohio by 18. They lost to Murray State by 18. They lost to a bad Old Dominion team. It was close, but
by
bad
2.
Yeah, bad Old Dominion team, though. I mean, an Old Dominion team that lost to Arizona by 58. This is year 1 for Cleo Hill, the head coach. They had Jason Crafton for the 5 years before that. Crafton, of course, his first year went 5-27. I think Cleo Hill's heading for a 5-27 potential season. They got Illinois, Arkansas, a decent Little Rock team, and UConn as their next 4 opponents. So good luck with that. Their schedule's very weird, too, because they're playing only 4 games in December, or 5 games in December, but they're going to end up at 11 in November. So that's kind of weird. I mean,
it's very weird.
They play 4 more games this month, and it's the 22nd. So they're definitely not good. I wouldn't use the word good to describe them. They're like got a lot of JUCO or guys going up a level players in their team. Like a lot of guys who didn't play D1 college basketball last season. Their projected lineup: Jose Coelho, 6'1", 185 junior, 5 minutes in the last game. Their backup point guard Evan Johnson had 23 points in their last game. Guard Katron Shaw, 6'5", 190 junior, 24 points in the last game. 47, 50, 72 are the splits if you include the fact that he's shooting 47% from 2. Cardell Bailey at the 3, 6'6", 195 junior, 32% from 3, had 21 points against Miami of Ohio. Maurice Vassell at the 4, the freshman, 6'9", 195, plays scattered minutes. Like some games he'll play 8 minutes, some games he'll play 15. 6 field goal attempts all season so far. And then the big man, Christopher Flippin, 6'8", 240 junior, 62% from 2, 2 points, 5 rebounds in the last game. So, yeah, that's not – KenPom projects a 31-point win for the Illini. Maryland Eastern Shore 345th in offensive efficiency, 360th in defensive efficiency. Illinois now 36th on the defensive side, 34th on the offensive side. Maryland Eastern Shore, I will say, though, shooting 35% from 3, so might make some threes. They're really bad from 2 and bad from the free throw line, so – Illinois with the advantage in the other categories. Their big advantage in 2-point category. Although Maryland Eastern Shore is 276th in 3-pointers, 3-point attempts to field goal attempts. The percentages, of course, Illinois 53% of their points coming from 3-point attempts as opposed to field goal. You get the numbers. Not good for Maryland Eastern Shore. If they're going to be good from 3, you should shoot more threes because their point distribution. Illinois is 36th in the country in 3-pointers for percentage of total points with point distribution, and Maryland Eastern Shore is 221st. So, and D1 experience, they are the 6th least experienced team in the country. They make Illinois look experienced.
Wow.
So, yeah, next big opponent Thursday, Arkansas. Of course, it's Thanksgiving. How do you not know this? All right. It's a joke. It was a joke.
Jeez.
Joke. Players to watch. Oh, Jesus, your player to watch.
My player to watch is Trey White. Trey White, show me something. Show me something.
How is he going to show you something against
something.
Maryland Eastern Shore?
I don't care. Show me something against the worst team that Illinois has ever played in their whole life. All right? Show me something. And then I'm going with
Chicago State's bad too.
Keytron Shaw. He's averaging 23.5 a game, 4.3 assists a game. Guy seems to be able to score a lot. So watch him, watch Boswell shut him down or whatever.
Yep.
Move on. Sure.
I'm going Boswell because Boswell's going to shut Shaw down.
Okay.
Boswell's going to have
with a guy that doesn't start. So
Boswell's going to have 20 points.
Do you think Trey White starts this game?
No. Brad's going to do the right thing. Brad's going to step up and do the right thing.
Okay.
I find it interesting you said that my guy doesn't start. I mean, I'm going Evan Johnson. He shot 8 for 12 from the field and had 23 points in their last game. So
you think Evan Johnson starts this game?
Yes. He's ramping up. He's going to start for sure.
All right. I noticed that he's only played in 3 games, so maybe he was suspended or something.
Yeah, he played 3 years at Georgia State, then a year at UNC Asheville. Last year didn't play very much. He's never played more than 23 games in a season. 11 games last year, 17 games with Georgia State, 23 the year before, and then 20 the year before that. He was on a tournament team at Georgia State, though. 2022 team. They lost to Gonzaga in the first one. They were 16 seed. He was on that team. So did he play in the tournament game, you ask? Well, the answer to that question is yes. He played 14 minutes and scored 7 points against Gonzaga. A Gonzaga team led by Chet Holmgren, Drew Timme, Andrew Nimhard, Rasir Bolden, Julian Strother. Whew, what a team. That team lost in the Sweet 16 to Arkansas. Anyway, Evan Johnson.
I didn't ask, but thanks.
Well, you're talking shit about the guy that I picked. So
predictions. I got Illinois winning this game 94-67.
Got Illinois 103-63. They crossed the century mark again.
Will there be a spread on this game?
Yeah, why wouldn't there be? It'd be like 30.5 or something.
I don't know. Because it's Maryland Eastern Shore. I don't know how things work. They beat a team called PSU Soulkill.
33.5. 33.5.
All right.
I mean, they had a spread for UConn against East Texas A&M.
Illinois doesn't cover.
Yeah, I guess not.
It's my prediction.
Guess not.
All right.
I got winning by 40, so.
Yeah. Ethan said we're not just going around the Big Ten today. We're going around all of college basketball.
I think it's the right thing to do.
Sure.
St. John's Baylor, what a game last night. I didn't take a premature victory lap at all.
You didn't want to turn it on. It was so bad.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess Pitino is not very happy because they reviewed a play.
Unethical.
Froze his shooter. I would agree with coaches on that. Like you can't
totally
just go
unethical.
to the monitor just because somebody asks. We need like flags or something like they have in the NFL.
It's totally unethical.
105-57, Jeffrey says.
The way that Baylor won this game, though, I don't think UConn. I don't think St. John should be too hard on themselves. I mean, they should have won the game in regulation, but younger, not even younger. This is an older team, but they'll figure out how to win. They'll figure it out.
Some people say they're going to the Final Four.
I think they still are. They got a lot of weapons. But when Omier puts up 24 and 10, and then Roach has 20 and then makes a 3 to win it, and then VJ Edgecombe, who I think is a stud freshman. I mean, he was not good in this game. They did a good job against him. He was 4 for 15 from the field, had 4 turnovers, but made a ridiculously hard 3 to get it to within 2. So they made 2 threes to win it, and the one that VJ Edgecombe made was ridiculous. But Baylor knows how to win. Baylor is, similar experience in terms of college basketball played to this St. John's team, but they'll be fine. They're good. They'll be fine.
97-56, Eric says. Jeffrey says St. John's gave it away.
Well, it was unethical. They ruined the free throw shooter.
It was unethical. I agree.
They missed 12 free throws, so it's tough.
You can't ice a shooter to go look at something that doesn't matter.
18 turnovers as well. It was totally unethical. And then they followed up this absolute classic with whatever the hell Virginia, Tennessee was, because my God, Virginia's bad. Virginia puts up 21 points in the first half, and they said, you know what, we'll do it again. They put up 21 in the second half, and they lost by 22. Now, I will say it's 22-21 at the half. Tennessee was up, and Tennessee wins the game by 22. So Tennessee is what they always are. They're lengthy. They're athletic. They have a ton of experience. They mix in a European player in Igor Milicic, which that's going to be a phenomenal matchup, with whether it's him or Akpara on Tomislav in a couple weeks. That's going to be a great stuff. They got Meshack back. Ziegler somehow still there. Jordan Gainey. They bring in Darlinstone Dubar. They bring in Akpara. They bring in Chaz Lanier from North Florida. It's a good Tennessee team. Offensively, they were not good in this game. I think if Virginia can do anything, they can defend a little bit. I guess that's always in their DNA, even without Tony Bennett there. I'll be curious to see tonight Virginia St. John's. I think St. John's is going to kill them, but I'll be curious to see if Virginia shows anything on offense, because I mean Virginia did beat Villanova, and they scored 70 points. I know Villanova's a joke. I mean, at this point, if you're Villanova, I get that Neptune was on Jay Wright's staff, but Jesus, he's got to go. It's just they have so many ridiculously dumb losses with him as their head coach. Let's just look at this, okay? First season they lose to Temple. They lose to Portland. Are those losses that Villanova should have in the non-conference? Probably not. Last season, they lost to Penn. They lost to St. Joseph's. They lost to Drexel. Are those three losses ones that Villanova should have in the non-conference? Huh? Probably not. This year, they've already lost to Columbia by 10. They lost to St. Joseph's again. St. Joseph's is not better than Villanova, folks. I mean, they're just not. And they lost to Virginia by 10. Now, I will say, Neptune was like, all right, I'm tired of the BS. Let's go kill Penn. They did kill Penn. In their last game, they beat Penn by 30. But Penn is horrible compared to last season. Penn is still riding low from the fact that they started the year last year 9-7 and finished 2-11 in their final 13 games. So that's Penn for you. And Kyle Neptune's out there fucking up Jay Wright's program and losing games like that. It's ridiculous. Pisses me off. Fire his ass now. Watch out for Drake, folks. Darian DeVries leaves Drake, goes to West Virginia, and Drake is still a formidable mid-major team. I don't know if you've seen them in the last couple of days, but my God, this team can play some basketball. Now, I know Miami might not be quite as good as the metrics want to tell you from an offensive perspective, but Drake beat Miami by 11 yesterday. They go out there, they beat Florida Atlantic, who, a couple steps back for Florida Atlantic, new head coach, new players. They beat them by 12 today. And I will say, I believe Drake was the underdog in this game. They're definitely the underdog yesterday, the underdog today. They're 5-0, though. They beat a decent Florida Gulf Coast team by a couple points. Ben McCollum coming over from a different level. He wasn't a D1 head coach before this, and he's done a phenomenal job so far. I mean, I don't know how good they'll be in the MVC, but I think they'll be a player. I mean, Ben McCollum coached at Northwest Missouri State before this. Talk about taking a shot with a guy. I mean, he's 253 and 21 with 4 Division II national championships in 2017, 2019, 2021, and 2022. But I like that. I like taking a chance on a hire like that. It looks good so far. A lot of basketball to be played. A game that I'm looking forward to on Drake's schedule is against our former power forward, Coleman Hawkins, in the Kansas State, whatever they're called, on December 17th, a semi-away game for the Drake Bulldogs. Is it Wildcats? Kansas State Wildcats?
Yeah.
T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. So see, Illinois is not the only team that has semi-away games when it's in Kansas City. Okay, I'm sure Manhattan is so far for those fans. Of course, to be fair, Drake is, from Iowa, so I don't think it's that far from there. But shout out to Drake. They've looked good so far.
Yeah.
Right?
Great.
No
Yeah,
thoughts?
I've watched all 5 games, and they've been really good.
You don't have to say that.
Why not? Who's gonna call me a liar? Come at me.
Me, because I know for a fact you didn't watch them yesterday or today.
I definitely watched them today.
Afternoon games.
FAU, yeah.
Well, okay.
Anyways, Oregon sucks.
Mitch Mascari, remember the name, folks. D2 transfer at Drake from Geneva, Illinois, shooting 17 for 31 from 3 this season, 55%. He put up 22. He went 9 for 16 from 3 in their wins over Miami and Florida Atlantic. Woo! Kid can light it up from 3. Maybe the best mid-major sharpshooter in the country. Against Stephen F. Austin, he shot 8 for 13 from downtown. Didn't take a single 2. Could this be Jack Golke 2.0? Could this guy put up 32 points against Kentucky in the tournament this year? Remember the name, folks. Oregon not look good. I hate to admit that, but the Ducks have not been good at basketball this year. My God, they got away with murder, barely beating Oregon State last night, won by 3. Troy's a pretty decent mid-major team. They beat Troy by 21. That's a good win, but they go to overtime with Portland at home. Last few games that they've been playing with fire, they better be careful. Texas A&M's probably going to smoke them. That's Tuesday evening, I believe. It could be afternoon, though. It's Feast Week, right? 2 weeks of Feast Week. It's the afternoon. Wow, Vegas. MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada, 3:30 p.m. Central, TBS, Tuesday, November 26th, Oregon, Texas A&M. Ducks haven't been good, though. They got to clean some things up. So we'll see if they can do that. This is when the chat's gone, obviously. And my final point.
The court looks better. At least the court looks better.
Yeah.
You know?
My final point is Tennessee Baylor tonight. What a matchup that's going to be. I'm not going
to even care about the other one, the other game.
I forgot to write that down, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Baylor is going to be judged a lot by the fact that they opened their season on the road. They played at Gonzaga. Okay, so they didn't play, a neutral site game. They didn't, dilly dally around, as the kids say. I'm sure they still say that.
No, they don't.
They got destroyed by Gonzaga. They lost by 38. What have they done since? Well, okay, I'll tell you what they've done since. They beat Arkansas by 5 in a neutral site game. Yeah, thank you for asking, everybody. They beat a pretty good Sam Houston State team. I believe I picked Sam Houston State to win that conference. I think. One of us did, because they're definitely mentioned in the preview. Conference USA. I think I picked them. That's a good Sam Houston State team. They beat by 37. And they followed up with just suffocating Tarleton State, who's not a good basketball team at all. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like Tarleton State has a good team this year, because they don't. But they beat them by 60 points. So I feel like that's worth something. And they beat St. John's. I think they lose tonight. I think Tennessee beats them. But if Baylor makes some shots, if Roach makes some shots, Edgecombe needs to be a little bit more efficient. I don't know if he can be. This is a very hard matchup for a freshman, despite, he's one of the most talented freshmen in the country. But this is going to be a big matchup. We'll see how Norchad Omier plays. I worry about Tennessee's athleticism, even though Baylor has athleticism too. But Tennessee, just the way they defend, it's a number 1 efficiency team in the country defensively is Tennessee right now. So, final Duke, Arizona. Arizona, the favorite in this game, -1.5. This game is at Arizona. Last season, as I mentioned earlier, all the way hours ago, at the beginning of this episode, Kylan Boswell's performance last year at Cameron Indoor when Arizona beat Duke. I think Arizona beats them again tonight. Arizona coming off of last Friday, which was ugly, a 15-point loss. They gave up 103 points to Wisconsin, who, by the way, Wisconsin, they're hanging on. They're not bad. I mean, Wisconsin right now is playing UCF as we speak, and they lead 79-56. They're up 23. I mean, UCF's not –
we're up big. Yeah.
UCF's not a bad basketball team. I think the spread was like Wisconsin 4.5, 5.5. So I think Arizona wins tonight. I think that the guards are like Caleb Love, I think, lives to play against Duke. And KJ Lewis, year 2. They got Owaka, the rebounding machine, averaging 12.3 boards per game, the transfer from Tennessee. They got Jaden Bradley, transfer from Alabama. Trey Townsend, transfer from Oakland. I think he'll have a nice game tonight. I just think Arizona. I don't trust Duke.
You really are really down on Duke for some reason.
They'll get it figured out. They're young. They're really young. I mean, they're relying on Kneipel and Flagg and Foster, who's a sophomore, and Proctor, who's a junior, but hasn't had a ton of experience as a good basketball player because he kind of stunk compared to the expectations going in. It is encouraging, though, that I know Wofford's not a very good basketball team. They're off to a horrible start, but they only scored 35 points against Duke, and Wofford is, by all metrics, Wofford would be the second best team Illinois has played so far. So maybe a good sign that they held them to 35 points. But I think Duke's going to lose 3. I think Duke's schedule. I don't know if Shire might regret this a little bit. Duke's going to lose 3 of their next 4, I think.
Really?
Which puts them at 4-4 because they have Arizona on the road. Then they have a neutral against Kansas. They play Seattle. They should win that. Then Auburn goes to Cameron Indoor. I think Auburn beats them.
I can see that.
I wouldn't be that surprised if Duke is either 5-3 or 4-4. But that's the schedule. There's a team every year that makes a deep run, it seems like, that ends up, in the Final Four after having a terrible start because of their schedule. Alabama last season, as was mentioned hours ago in this episode. So
hours.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good.
And don't forget the Illini women play on Big Ten Plus tonight. Number 22.
Are we able to watch that?
Yeah. You buy the whole school when you pay. So if you are paying for Big Ten Plus, you can watch the.
You can buy the University of Illinois for $14.99
a month. What a deal.
It's amazing.
So,
but yeah, really good
no
college
party
basketball
tomorrow because Ethan's got a real job or something. I don't know.
Next week and a half, a lot of good college basketball coming.
Flagg is going to be benched for 2 reasons: to watch how the game should be played and because he eats too many chocolate Easter bunnies.
Swing and a miss, David. Nicely done. You better enjoy Maui this year because Maui's field next year, I believe, if I saw it correctly, is horrendous. So you better enjoy it this year.
Yeah.
But we'll be back before, like, maybe we'll do an episode Tuesday or something, Monday, Tuesday. And we'll be able to discuss all the Feast Week stuff that's about to happen because really Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it really ramps up. It's obviously happening this week. And you have a couple really good games tonight. Tennessee, Baylor. Virginia St. John's will be interesting. That one's on CBS Sports Network, I presume. Yeah, I think it's the next game. It's at 6:00.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
6.
8 o'clock for 8:30 for Tennessee Baylor, maybe 9 o'clock. But did you see North Carolina plays Hawaii tonight at Hawaii, and it's at like 12:30 a.m. Eastern?
Oh, really? I
can't bet it as part of a parlay for tonight because it's technically, I guess, tomorrow Eastern time. Stupid. But I love North Carolina minus the 15.5 tonight. Love the Tar Heels. Weird spot, though, to be going all the way there. I wonder if they're in the Maui field. I haven't even looked at the Maui field, but
they gotta be. Like, why would you go to Hawaii if you're not playing over there for more than one game?
Yeah, I've seen crazier things. I don't know.
No, you haven't.
Nah, probably not. Maui field. Let's see.
Thanks, Eric.
Loading. Come on, load. Yeah, they are in the field. You got. Oh, this is what. Monday. Monday, it all begins. The first game.
Feast week.
Memphis, UConn, first game. Memphis is going to get murdered.
The Dane Danger Mobile. How's he doing? Good?
Did Dane play well or not against UConn?
That's a good question.
Because I feel like if Hurley could just, they would just shut him down if they wanted to.
How's Epps doing? Is he still over at Georgetown?
I don't even think it matters. Dane Danger played 9 minutes, went 0 for 3 with a turnover and 2 blocks, 0 points against UConn. God, he's so good. Colorado, Memphis, UConn, Colorado, Michigan State, Auburn, Iowa State, Dayton, North Carolina are all the first games of the week. So I guess Chaminade's out. RIP. They host it, but they're not playing in it, I guess, this year. So basically the teams to watch in the field, you have Michigan State, who I think is overrated, but we'll get there. Iowa State's really good. This is a very good field. Auburn, North Carolina, UConn, and then Memphis and Colorado and Dayton are like, we're just here.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Dayton's good, but, other than that. So it's really good Maui field, really good feast week. Glad Illinois is actually playing a big game that week with Arkansas, so should be good.
When's Illinois going back to Maui? I don't know when Brad wants to, probably.
Probably never. All right. That'll do it for us. We'll see everybody early next week after Illinois hopefully takes down Maryland Eastern Shore. I guess you never know. We'll see everybody then. Goodbye.